You could turn me on and turn me off with your gaze. You could make me feel oh so much with your ways. It's so perfect the way you play me. It's magnetic the way you pull me into you.
Okay, he's just gonna look for the scaling safe Sivir here. Not expect the Yuumi.
Okay. Yeah, we don't really see this bottom lane nowadays. Generally, when you get a chance to pick two things together, you don't see Sivir and Yuumi. A lot of Ass Seraphine, Lucian Nami even. There's that Aurora, which seems pretty obvious.
Yeah, it's gonna come through. It's a pretty expensive choice, I think, for this draft. You know, if you don't end up winning this game, you're not gonna have access to this later on. But it's a strong pick and can bully the Annie early, depending on how the lane is played out. Going to be a lot of electrocute trades, and BDD will look to prep his stun at every opportunity he has.
All right, game number 1 of the day and of the week. And already...
The lane is over.
Well...
Like, it's Annie level 1. I cannot remember the last game we saw Annie at level 1 not come to look for a stun in the bottom lane.
The end of the world and also not the beginning of the world. We do know how that happens.
A bit of a base.
Cuz is coming on in here, but Ondil already roaming. When becomes lightning does come in, and now Cuz is in a rough spot. He's going to have to flash over to his team as the heal does come over. No exhaust just yet for effort as Willer has to continue forward, picks up first blood, but will give a kill back over to Aiming, and now LazyFeel going up against red and blue buff, having a bit of trouble, tries to flash Q, but does not land it, and Aiming will respect for now. Kind of surprised. I mean, they're trying to stay here for this wave, and I think they should be able to. The flash forward, the root comes in! Effort blocks the Q, though, but it doesn't matter, as the damage is there from the Nico, and LazyFeel and Ondil pick up 2 kills.
That was about as risky as KRX could have played that situation, but the risk pays off immensely, and chance of actually working play. It was incredibly risky, but it was played super well, so watch Perfect up here. It just kind of runs him down, transforms, flashes.
At the end of the day.
No.
It's happening again as Rich might just die here, although he has the ult this time, and Willer is here. And Rich does survive for now. Perfect on the run. He doesn't have his flash, and I think he might just be dead as Cuz level 5. He can't make his way up here.
Oh, look
nice
at his XP
this time.
His XP is so close. Cuz is so close to 6, so he doesn't have it.
It's on top of him, so not going to love that all that much. Ondil going to find the enemy team and die.
Obviously, we know what happened at level 1 here, but they were able to get the kill back. Either way, all in on the BDD.
Yeah, BDD in a bit of trouble. He lands that stun onto Willer, and the damage is followed up here by UCal.
A pretty aggressive early game, pretty nice lead for Kiwum.
I'll block the ult here. Willer is on the way. Out of mana is Perfect, and Cuz makes his way in, but it's late.
And this is a very frustrating play. Well, I say it.
Yeah, he was playing defensively until you mentioned it, Wolf, as Ondil is here, and BDD is dead. There's 3 of them in the mid lane, and BDD already 0 and 2. Not feeling very good about his position. On the hunt as here comes Cuz, but it's Ezreal, so he just arcane shifts to the turret.
Usually not the MO. He gets a lot of money later, but Perfect is going to get TP'd on.
He got hit by the shout, and now he has to flash away.
Those outcomes to the best of their abilities. Cuz is going to look for one here, onto Rich again.
I mean, this is a Scion with plated steel caps against a Pantheon. Like, you're not going to do any damage to this guy anymore. As Willer makes his way up, the Crescent Guard, he gets stunned. And so that's going to delay this push. But here comes UCal looking to drop it all down with this flash. Perfect doesn't have his, as he nearly misses everything, but he at least gets the damage down. And that's another kill for the side of KRX.
Maybe if you had just maybe removed Lazy Fill from the game, it could have been way better. To 700, as Rich is not alone.
There's a lot of stuff happening there, but we got an engage on Aiming as everybody turns and focuses on the AD carry, and KT takes him down. Does Lazy Feel
once on the map at the same time, arguably all three, because your top lane presence in BDD is TPing away from the top side. Your mid lane AD carry, you know, Aiming is trying to push these waves through. His Sivir is not safe here, gets dove and killed. And then your bottom lane is pressured away. Meanwhile, bit of a lurk.
I think he knows something is up, but he doesn't know well enough, as here comes everybody. Even the flash, and they all going to be used on top of the rocket belt, so UCal does get away. A lot of mobility there, but still a good chunk into him. He'll have to back off, and KT get position here.
No bear for you. No red buff for you.
Aiming is in a bit of trouble. He has to flash away. The ult only hits the front line, though, from Ondil, and no follow-up is there. KRX are very deep in the jungle, as the Yumi's trying to get over to his team, but instead just dies, or at least the Annie does, and then he dies, as Rich makes his way in with the TP and makes a difference.
Okay, this is silly. Do not do this, Cuz.
They're going in on the Cuz, who has been struggling all game long. At least going to dodge that one, but the damage is too much as the sun comes in. BDD here as well. He's like, are we fighting? I don't know. And it's going to be the end of the KT jungler for now. It looks like KRX will be happy with that pick.
Just give him a few seconds, he can do it. And they can still win teamfights, but not looking great so far as UCal.
Yeah, Cuz is going in, but they're being zoned by Rich at the same time, so Cuz is just going to die, going way too far forward. A lot of damage coming out here from Aiming with that LDR, but they're going to flash on in. Tons of damage being done to that backline as the ricochets are too much. As Perfect will go down, but Aiming still alive, and the double stun from BDD gets them the win in the fight. Triple kill for Aiming as they stack for the Sivir, and Aiming says thank you very much. Time to pull the trigger on the Baron.
Cuz does have ult. Yeah, could just go for it.
I mean, they need a little bit more vision, and now he can just ult in. I think this is a bit risky, as they're going to look for UCal, it looks like. No, just going to ult straight into the front line, as Cuz is really having a rough time in this one, but trying to play aggressive, I suppose, for Aiming to do the damage. Perfect looks like he's doing the same, and he's going to die. And now we got the charge in from Rich, but they are showing a lot of respect to Aiming. Not over-forcing onto the Sivir just yet. At
this point, I think KT should just let the Baron do the work. They don't need to fight before the Baron started, but they're trying to for some reason. Onto Rich, who's doing so much tanking.
There's not a lot of damage onto this Baron, so KT very patient with it. The knock-up not going to hit Aiming. He survives, but there's the stun from the Scion. He flashes away, and he lives, and KRX down, or up a member rather, are still going to lose this fight against the Sivir. They could not lock down Aiming as trying to take up BDD, and at least UCal will do that.
Okay, I think the Sivir damage is too much.
Where's he at? Trying to burst down. Aiming is not going to work. That was never going to work, especially with the spell shield.
Yeah, he's like,
Yumi.
He has to carry, but the draft is well set up for him, and he is doing a great job. As once again, a risky Baron attempt for KRX is going to look to be punished here by KT.
UCal is on vision, so BDD eventually just going to press his buttons. Flash timbers! UCal is dead! And that's the end of this fight for KRX, as the damage into Rich is insane at this point. Aiming just shredding through the Scion. Point
in the server?
Yes.
Jeez.
There is one, actually. It's Aiming on the side of on the side of KT. Now they're trying to take down this individual Drake. I don't know if they can actually manage it. They're trying to get this flank going, but once again, Aiming is right there. The follow-up is not, and they get the Dragon instead. Cuz takes a lot of damage.
BD is on the flank here with Tibbers set and stun set. I think this might be the beginning of the end. You gotta fight your way out somehow, Kiwoom.
Well, they're trying to turn onto Aiming, who just flashes away. BD gets hit, but it's messy. He just kind of dies. As Aiming says, it's okay, I'm here to do the damage. And Aiming, he's so low, but the Yuumi and the bounces to get you, Cal. Oh, no! That's gotta feel bad. The last ricochet. And, yeah, you can see Rich just like, I'll help, I guess, eventually. And they'll take down LazyFeel eventually, it feels like, but he does hop away and uses his flash. The speed up may be enough here from Aiming as he says, well, I'll turn my sights on to Rich, actually.
He just doesn't care about Rich. He's like, yeah, stop annoying me. I'm trying to kill the AD carry. Go away. It's so funny how Rich is like, I think we can turn this. Almost you could feel like he's like, maybe I can tank this enough and then LazyFeel could do the damage. And Aiming just looks at him and he turns into dust.
They're actually just playing with their food at this point.
Yeah.
Like, chasing them all over the jungle. Shock Blast's not going to hit.
Those 2 kills back. This could have been even more disastrous in the early game. Because just did not get to play what he wanted. Is okay, we're just fighting more.
Yeah, I think Rich thought he was Assassin Scion and said, maybe I can kill Aiming here. As we saw, Aiming is at full health and did not lose any health during that trade. Either I die, or I would die after the GA as well. I don't know. LazyFeel is already taking some damage as BDD this time is going to hit his Tibbers into Ondil, and Aiming is here, so you know what that means. He's ready to party, and Cuz is just frontlining Willer very separated from the rest of the team. Aiming does take some damage, but immediately heals all of it up. And that's another one-team fight here for KT as they look to push mid.
It looked for a moment like maybe KT was going to lose a 3rd game, but it is just not happening in this one. Aiming 7,600 gold ahead alone.
Yeah.
Pal, good try.
Good try. And Tina, the KRX ambassador, not feeling too good about the situation. KT, clean 1-0, nothing to see here.